cheese
The Boop
buckle.
Show begins in 3, 2, 1.
Another visitor. Stay a while. Stay forever.
This is The Boop Show, episode 258. It is Monday, September 14th, 2020. Hey everyone, welcome back to The Boop Show. It is me, Scott Johnson, him, Brian Dunaway, and we are here again for episode 258. Brian Dunaway, how are you? What are you doing? How you feeling?
Oh, hi, Scott. How are you?
I'm okay. Listen, I have almost completely 100%ed Mad Max, the video game. That's
That's
Max.
mad.
Yeah. It came out in 2015, so we're now 5 years on that game, and I finally beat it. I beat the story mode and all the secondary quests, and now it's just like cleanup crew, like, okay, well, I left one of the oil tankers up in the corner of the north part of the map, so I should go get that one. Okay, got it. Now it's time to unlock these 4 other cars, do that with the racing. Okay, did that. Like that kind of stuff. I think I'm going to 100% that game. I'm almost done.
Well, I would be impressed because my Steam achievements that shows the shame that is my many incomplete games. My average is like 12% or something like that.
Oh, my Lord.
Per game. It's
Really?
like it's pretty low, Scott.
Why?
pretty low.
Why you think that is? Why is it so low? What's why?
Because a lot of the games I play are for the Boop Show, and there's only like about 8 hours a week I can dedicate to playing video games for that factor, and then I have to split those times too. So I usually get in about somewhere between 4 to 6 hours on most of the games we talk about. Man, I'd like to do more than that, though.
Yeah, you'd like to hit those. I don't know. What's a happy percentage on a game? Like 75%.
75% is usually that. To me, that's complete because I mean, sure, you could go back and do all the little things. What are you trying to do? You trying to impress George Miller? Like, what are you trying to do?
I got
Scott?
nobody. That's the thing is, I have nobody to impress here. George Miller could care less if this game that he barely had anything to do with gets beat or not. I happen to be a fan of the source material in a way that's a little bit weird, but for me, it's like open world games where there's just tons of secondary objectives to worry about.
Yes,
Those are the ones I want to get better at squeezing more out of. You know.
Yeah, I found that, well, the good news is we've been playing more indie games, and indie games have some of them have less threshold for, having to complete things like 5-6 hours, and I can complete a game completely within 2 weeks. Like, I came very close this week to finishing one of the games I played. Very close indeed, because we had 2 weeks. We had Labor Day weekend off last week, and I came very close. I put in around almost 12 hours in it. So, well,
you still can. You've got.
I can still, because the how long to beat on it's around 12 hours. So I'm like right there.
Yeah. Will you be sad though if you find out that there's like another 4 hours left just because you're slow at it or something like that?
Oh my God, there's always 4 more hours left, no matter what I do. I always think, I'm definitely on the back end of that curve. That's how long to beat is average. Yeah. The average how long to beat.
The real question is, and I think Sidian in the chat makes a point with what he just said about whether or not some of the game, the stuff to finish out is just filler and even worth your time, right?
Right.
So that's an important part of this. I don't think there's any value or any praise to give you if you beat a game just to say you beat it. And by beating it, I mean 100% everything there is to get in it. Because sometimes it's just bad side content that's not fun to do. It benefits you in no real way. Even if you accomplish it, all you've done is make a weird meter grow up in your own head that doesn't actually do anything for you. So
it's kind of like is the Japanese that if you eat everything in your plate? No, in America it's like everything in your plate. That's a compliment. And in like Japan, isn't it like you ate everything in your plate? You pig.
Yeah.
Is that?
Well, no. Is it?
Is it?
Okay. So I know this in France. If you eat everything, they think you're...
in France, they're always offended by everything.
They are, but if you eat all your food in France, they think you're a huge pig.
What did you do, you pig?
They have it both ways, though. If you eat everything on your plate, you're a pig.
Right.
Also, if you only eat half on your plate and you ask for a to-go bag, they look at you like you are the worst human being.
Oh, that's pretty nasty though. You think about it, that's pretty nasty. It's like, oh, you talk about like at a restaurant. You're not talking about
just a restaurant. Like, hey, I'm half done with my meal. Like, here, no problem. You're at an Applebee's. They bring you a box. You take your riblets home. It's no big deal. Over in France,
I expect that when I pay for something.
You do,
right?
but in France, it's frowned on. They're just like, no, you throw the rest away. They're snooty, man. They're snoots.
I thought you were talking about like visiting my house. Like if you were visiting my house and was like, it's like, hey man, can I get a doggy bag for the spaghetti? No, maybe not.
I hate to say this, but I have a relative who does kind of like do that.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Do you have those people? I don't mean to get too far off. So you have those people like when there's a party, they have like a significant other that never comes to the party, and they always got to like load up a plate.
Yeah,
it's like
every time.
Oh, so and so couldn't come. They never come. Well, they couldn't come this time either, and I'm about to load this plate up.
Yeah, I feel like saying, well, then get their sorry ass to the dinner and have them eat their own food, become their own spaghetti bag.
Get it. Occasionally, sometimes people have to work and they can't make it, but some people
sometimes it's chronic.
Using the system.
Yeah, it's chronic is what it is. They're taking advantage. Damn it, just like us of these video games we're going to talk about. That was weird. For some reason that came through quiet. Anyway, I'm working on a new sound system, so things may be a little weird today. If they are, I apologize. All right. Moving on to our very first game of the day. All right. Pretty excited to talk about this. I did discuss it a little bit on Core this week as well. So if you're looking for additional commentary,
speaking of leftovers.
Well, you take a bag and you take it home.
You take the good, you take the bad.
That's right.
There you have.
Then you take the bag home to play the Star Renegades. It doesn't really work that way. But anyway, I played a game called Star Renegades. And this game is cool. It's developed by Massive Damage Incorporated and published by Raw Fury. Raw Fury.
Am I watching a cartoon right now?
Right now you're watching an anime-ish cartoon intro. You absolutely are, no question. But I should say this. This is not, as far as I'm concerned, not an anime game in the most anime sense. And also, these are Western developers, so they just like the anime for the intro. That's really all you're getting the anime for. So you got this kind of anime intro, and you got these this lady here with a big old sword and a kind of robot body. And look at her. She's just had her way with the world and is all set to go. Anyway, the game opens, and it's called Star Renegades. And came out on the 8th, so that was, last week?
Right.
Yeah, I think that's right. I had a slightly early access on it and couldn't talk about it for about 4 days, but then it came out, and now I can talk all about it. I'm going to say for the record, it is one of the coolest games that I've played, certainly this year, and maybe in quite a while. And let me tell you the ingredients that this thing has that make it rad. This game has, Brian, imagine the music of the Genesis era, but polished up with sounds of today, so that you have some kind of weird combo of olden time music and newen time.
Olden time music in the days of yore.
In the days of yore. And imagine that sound. Okay, so you got that in your head, right?
I am already in love with the visuals. I don't know what's going to happen on the sound, but if you're watching this feed later and you're hearing on the podcast, you're missing something fantastic here. This is a gorgeous game.
And I don't even know what to call this style. It's retro and modern and
it's like a 16-bit, almost somewhere between 16-bit and 8-bit,
kind of
but with a modern sensibility.
Right. And there's look how everything's kind of 3D in a weird way. Like when this little town moves around, there's parallax sort of perspective on everything. So it's 3D in a weird way, but super 2D mostly. And then the actual combat
top down.
Oh yeah,
loving it.
Well, at the moment, this is just sort of your overworld business. So you're just kind of moving from objective to objective and stuff. Eventually, you'll get into the actual combat, which will start here in a second. The combat in the game is very up close and personal, kind of Japanese RPG style, sort of side by side. Sort of everyone's got to take turns. It's turn-based combat, I should say. Right. And here you see a little bit of it happening with Robot Dude, and it's almost always Robot Dudes. But as you can see, these guys are casting like dynamic shadows, and when they blow stuff up and use their firepower, there's like huge lighting effects and crazy like stuff you just don't see in in a game like this or in a game style like this ever.
Right.
And man, it's captivating. It just really drug me in. And that combined with the sound effects and the music and everything else, it's like the Genesis had a baby with Skrillex, but Skrillex they got divorced. I haven't
heard that in a couple of days.
They got divorced and Skrillex left, so
right
in its place, somebody else moved in, and now they're just partners. They don't really want to go through the marriage thing. It's hard to explain. This is a terrible metaphor. I'm going to stop.
No, it's not. So we saw the overworld stuff, and I'm seeing the battle stuff right now. Is it kind of like, is it battle to battle kind of gameplay, or is there like some campaign in between?
There's a bunch of campaign, and there's a bunch of randomization. So there's some like, well, here's how they describe it. Star Renegades is dimension-spanning roguelike strategy RPG, and it really truly is those three subgenres all kind of mushed together. It says outsmart uniquely generated adversaries, forge bonds between heroes, and end the cycle. So here's some of the other stuff they do cool in this game. Do you know the Nemesis system from those Mordor games?
Yeah, those are my favorite. Oh, yeah, but I want to tell you about the Nemesis system. Someone sent me a message on Steam the other day and said, I have avenged you in Shadow of Mordor. I'm like, all right. So apparently somebody recently launched it back up, and the last person that killed me, I guess he finally got revenge upon them.
Oh, nice. I forgot they had that connected stuff where you could.
Yeah, I love the Nemesis system. That is one of the most fun bad guy systems that I have played ever. Yeah. It is so much fun.
It was something that I really wanted those Batman games to end up with.
That would have been awesome.
Yeah, and they kind of they did a little of it, but not like what I wanted. I wanted a full Nemesis system. But anyway, they use that here, so that's another piece of this. And then the other is this weird downtime mechanic. So when you're done with a bunch of fighting, I should mention in the fighting, your abilities put you on a time bar up top. So let's say you're going to do a slash move, and you're just and usually there's a team of you right now. You're seeing kind of your tutorial stages here with just the one chick, but eventually you team up with people. And up on that bar is like a timeline bar, and on that bar somewhere sits the bad guy, and he may have some special ability that pushed him up the bar a little bit. But it's basically the initiative or the order in which you guys are going to go. And you don't know what order your guys are going to go until you start looking at what your abilities are. So if I choose slash, my little lady icon might go up the bar a little or back a little or wherever. It may move around, but it will determine in what order she's going to be compared to the guy you're fighting. And then the next person same, the next person same. Now, the thing about it is some of your abilities will push back the bad guy down the timeline a little bit so you can get more stuff in and more combos before he's allowed to fight back. So that's kind of one of the strategies. By the way, you're going against
Firewolf right now on the screen.
How cool is that guy?
That guy is bad. Yeah. Oh, boy, you just chopped his head, though. Go ahead.
Yeah, look at the way he just did the fire business.
Oh, no.
Yeah. The whole screen turned red, and there was like light and everything. It's crazy. Anyway, so you do this timeline thing, and then you whoever's on your team, you initiate all their abilities, and then the timeline plays out. So it's like, all right, he was first, she was next, the bad guy was third, and your fourth guy is defensive because he was going to be fourth no matter what. So you put him in a defensive mode, take less damage or whatever. So there's that whole timeline thing up top. It's an important aspect of the gameplay, a strategic element. Although, not that you can ignore it, but you don't have to be super hardcore about the timeline. It's just a fun extra element that isn't just my turn, your turn, my turn, your turn. It's got some stuff there that's fun and interesting. You can create status effects like you've dizzied your opponent, you made them weak, you broke their shields. Now their shields are down, the other guy's abilities actually work now. There's a robot healer in my group right now, and he's healing us in between strikes and stuff like this.
Now is this single player?
It is a single player game, correct? No multiplayer in this thing. I don't know how you'd do that. Maybe there's co-op. I don't think so, though.
Well, that's what I was thinking. I mean, if you have multiple characters on one team and it's turn-based, I mean, surely you could.
Yeah, but all you do is if the other guy would only push two buttons every round, like it wouldn't be very fun for a second person. I can't imagine that would be very much fun because really you move the rest of the game. You move as a team.
Right.
So I don't think that would work. But okay, here's the other weird bit. When you rest, you set up a camp basically. And it turns into this thing where there's like a fire and you're all kind of gathered around it. And you're in this like pseudo futuristic, lots of robot stuff, but also apocalyptic. Like it's like a billion genres all sort of mushed up in kind of a rock and roll heavy metal sort of way. It's like metal. You know what the thing? If I could call this game a genre of music, I'd call it metal techno, because it's like I got electronica all over it, but it's just metal AF.
Yeah, everything's. I've been enjoying the I don't resurgence of metal. I played a game this week too that had some amazing metal in it.
Yeah,
metal.
It's metal is cool. Anyway, so there's like this story that's going along as you go, as you can see. You go from area to area, zone to zone, different encounters. Sometimes there's random stuff. Sometimes there's treasure chests, like RPG elements. You level up, you get better skills, you do all of that. In the rest system, when you're resting, you have accumulated through fights and other ways. You've accumulated these cards. Each of your characters have these cards that once in a while will drop for them. And it's the only place where these cards matter. There's no card battling or anything else in the game. But when you're in that rest mode, I might have a card that if I give it to one of my party buddies, it will improve our relationship and give them a benefit. So they might get plus 25 to health, and it improves our relationship, which is another meter that eventually can level up. And the cool thing about that is if you level up that friendship and that trust grows, now you've got combos of those people you wouldn't have normally. So now, when I strike with this, they do a certain thing and add 25 damage, or they do a thing with support that helps me live longer, or, whatever combination of things. The different characters give each other these cards, and you make a decision about who gets them.
Isn't that more JRPG? Like, isn't that like their thing where you get that buff?
Ish. I think it's. I mean, it's these kinds of. I mean, strategy and RPG games are always about buffing each other and stuff. So
right. But I mean, usually, like it's almost like a passive buff, though, right? It's like if you increase your buddy, your friendship.
Yeah, kind of. Yes,
that is a cool mech you're about to fight, or whatever that is.
They're all mechs and robots and just badass looking, like stuff you want to see in a movie. It's all so cool. It's just super stuff.
Cool. I saw the chat room like flip by a few seconds ago, I thought, or a minute or 12 ago.
Yeah.
And I saw somebody say this might be on the Xbox Game Pass as well.
It is.
Vitology 11. Why didn't you just say so? I've been over here wringing my hands about whether I should spend $22.49 because it's an amazing looking game. But if
it's just on Game Pass, you can just freaking get it. That's the thing.
Yeah,
it's not going to be there forever. It's not it's one of the ones that isn't a Microsoft Studios game, so it won't be there forever. But yeah, it's part of PC Game Pass. I don't know if it's on Xbox. I assume it is. I don't know. It just
came out on 9/8 this past month. So
yeah. So I don't know if the Xbox. I don't know if it's just on PC Game Pass or if it's on both. I don't know. But if it is,
I'd be willing to dump $22.49 on this game. It looks pretty darn interesting. How long now? Did you complete this game? Like you say, you're 100% complete.
I'm still playing this game, and I will continue to keep playing it. I have no idea how long. I don't even know if this thing can be beat. It may be one of those that just perpetually gets harder and more cool. Because roguelike stuff.
Start you back over again.
Yeah, well, there's roguelike shit. So
Oh, okay. Yeah, roguelike shit.
Yeah, you do rinse and repeat.
It's a basilic.
Yeah.
He just laser eyed you like nobody's business.
Oh yeah, no, this robot is serious about its job.
He's a basilic. What'd you expect?
Yeah, he's pissed. Listen to these names like Win Cyphex and Davian Cyphex. They're sisters, by the way. And then here in a second, one of them's going to get. I mean, spoiler.
It's almost like they need a nap. They got some serious bags in their eyes, even at that 12-bit resolution.
Yeah, it's like a weird half. I don't know. There's also a little bit of PlayStation in there because the flooring is like a flat plane that looks like a PS1 floor, but it all works. I don't know, dude. It does use controllers, so my guess is this is on Xbox as well.
Perfect.
Yeah, it's cool. I'm doing keyboard and mouse. I'm not using the controller, but you could if you wanted to. It'd be no problem.
Well, I'm gonna.
Yeah, you can do whatever you want. So I got they gave me I know somebody on the team, so I ended up getting a key, which is how I played it. But yes, Game Pass available now. Go for it. Again, the game is Star Renegades. I love it. I think this is one of my favorite games of the year.
Well, it looks amazing. And I usually like Massive. I've seen some stuff from Massive Damage before, and we've definitely seen some publisher Raw Fury stuff. I just can't place that. No, I've heard both of those names.
Yeah. Oh, see, look at those lighting effects. You're going to catch up to this lag in a second. But there was just some amazing...
I'm seeing it. Oh, it's beautiful. My lag's very short. I just
that electrical stuff is so badass.
Oh, it's so sweet.
Yeah. So anyway, you got to play it. I'm going to play more and keep playing it. Star Renegades. All right, Brian, tell me about Drake Hollow and why does that name sound like a dude, not a place?
It's like Drake, brother. So Drake Hollow on the Xbox Game Pass now. It is one of Scott's favorite game types. Is survival at its
Oh,
best.
I love survival. No, I don't. I don't love
No,
survival.
that's right. Oh, you don't love survival. Well, wait, you might like this survival. It's a little bit different. Is a little bit of twist on this survival game that is called Drake Hollow. You're not trying to survive for yourself. You're trying to survive for your drakes. What are drakes? It's not a rapper. No, sir. It is little vegetable people that live in the ground. You pluck from the ground and you
Okay,
and
so
then
it's
you
not the rapper.
then
It's
you
not.
evolve
It's
them
not
up.
young dragons. It's small vegetable-like creatures in the ground. Okay,
Right. You'll find them later. Anyway, the story starts out you're this very depressed teenage person who is just broken up with some person and your phone is dying and you're out in the woods.
Yeah.
As most good stories start. And you're approached by a crow, and this crow says, "Hey, what's up?" And you go, "I don't know." And he's like, "Follow me through this portal." And you go through this portal, and then you're in another dimension. He wants you to help the Drakes down in Drake Hollow fight back the blighted and the infection.
How come
that
she has a
is-
guitar? What's that about?
Okay, so you'll notice if you look at this game, one of the most compelling things about this game is you're either going to go, "I don't want to play this," or you're going to go like, "Yeah, I could play this." It uses the Unreal Engine.
Yeah.
It is use the Unreal Engine, and it uses a lot of the elements that you would see like in Fortnite. The style is very similar,
Yeah.
and for good reason. And there is some camp building, or you would usually, like in Fortnite, you would build a fort. In this case, you're building a camp, and there is where the similarities end. If the Fortnite style bothers you, then you will not like this game because it is Fortnited up as far as the visuals go.
Okay,
Right?
sure. Is it like that Defend the World Fortnite game mode
Yeah,
too?
there you go. Yeah, yeah. It's kind of like that like exactly like there. So, but
Okay.
it's totally different. You know, other than that, it's a survival game, and you're building a camp. And the reason why you're building the camp is that's what determines your leveling up and how you increase your abilities and spells. They don't talk very much about this in the game, but one of the first things you do is you set up or craft a cauldron, and that cauldron is a place where you place food and other items, juice boxes, as you collect throughout this other dimensional world where the drakes live.
Yeah.
And you'll like I said, you're working on magic things. They don't mention much about witchcraft or anything like that, but it's definitely got an element of that in it. I don't know if they dropped it from the story because they didn't feel like it would be very marketable on the Game Pass or what, but it felt kind of weak to me in that point. I really felt like they needed to lean into the fact why my character would be wielding magic spells and would be okay with that or would not be okay with that or would even care they can do that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I get it.
So it didn't fit into the story too well, but this is developed by the Molasses Flood. You remember these guys? Oh, what is the name of the game? The Flame and the Flood? What is
The
it?
Flame and the
Is that
Flood. With the little
what's it
raft.
called?
Yeah, there's a little raft.
Yeah,
There's
yeah,
a
the little
roguelike.
raft
You went
game you
down the
played.
river. Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
That's a cool game.
And that also had a very unique style, beautiful style. I love the other game, and that's when I saw this. I was like, yeah, I got to play this. And so you're watching me right now. I'm playing against some of the blighted, and they are feral animals that have been consumed by the blight, and now they're out for blood. Out for blood, I say.
Yeah.
And you'll notice that I'm doing a little bit of melee fighting and a little bit of range fighting. Range fighting in this game so far for me, even though I'm good maybe 12 hours in, which, like I said, is pretty close to the end game for most people. Me, I'll probably get another 4 hours.
Yeah.
I'm
You're just getting
kinda slow.
started. Yeah.
I'm just getting started. Okay. So
Wait, let me ask you a question. When I saw you doing ranged combat, it looked like a staple gun. Is that what you got?
Yeah, there's a staple gun. It's very ineffective. You know, if you were playing Pokemon, it would say that was very ineffective.
Yeah.
So that's kind of where the ranged weapons are. As a matter of fact, the thing that I think you would hate the most about this game is what you usually complain about in survival games. Now, like on games like Don't Starve, where the very essence is to not starve.
Yeah,
And so you don't like the fact that it's constantly got you on your heels, right? That's kind of like one of the things that you don't like about
it feels
those
like
games.
timers to me. It feels arbitrary.
Yeah.
I don't like feeling, I got to stay fed. I got to eat the thing. I got to get the fire going.
Yeah.
It's almost nighttime. I hate being on a timer. I hate it.
Yeah, you hate being on a timer. So you would probably dislike this, and because you're not on a timer for yourself, but you are on a timer for these drakes. These drakes are back home, and you've got to make sure that you feed, water, and entertain. These guys can die from boredom, literally die from boredom. And they also aren't too happy when you make them sleep on the ground. So you have to get back to the camp and you have to build beds. So as you collect resources, such as looting from cars, there's like abandoned cars and abandoned houses and bags that are just strewn across these different islands that you're going to explore in each region. These islands will show up on the map, and it'll give you an idea of whether there are drakes there that you can possibly awaken. And when you awaken them, you can send them back to your camp, in which case your camp will increase in its level. And as the levels go up, you'll unlock more magic spells and more abilities and such as that. This is actually a pretty deep game. It's a lot more than just survival. And I actually think the survival part, back to what I was talking about, was one of the parts that really killed me, because I would often be off in these islands, and the islands are separated by an aether, which is like a toxic air.
Yeah.
And so you can't just walk through it. If you do, you start getting infected and basically die and have to either spirit walk back to your body, or you have to respawn at the camp. Right now you're watching me using what's called an aether ward, and I'm able to ward away the bad gas for a limited amount of time.
Yeah, it's like Beano.
It's like Beano. Yeah, you blow away the bad air.
Yeah, I get it.
So right, like you do. And so she'll do that, but then she'll have to constantly be returning back home to the camp because these stupid drakes, man, they are so high maintenance. It's like,
help.
oh, I'm hungry.
Yeah,
I'm thirsty.
I got a combat question. Can you lock onto these guys, or is it just sort of whatever way you're aiming, you hope you hit them, sort of thing?
Yeah, well, it kind of locks on. You just the melee's fighting is kind of a little bit on rails. It's not the most fun, except when you're fighting against these wolves. There's wolves, and these wolves will fire like these projectiles just kind of come through the air. It's like a little magic wisp, and as it comes towards you, if you time it right, you can bat it back to it, and it'll hit these feral characters called fangs, and it'll kill them.
Okay.
And so that is my favorite thing to do, because the melee weapon, the ranged weapons you have are crap so far anyway. And I've played, like I said, I've played along a pretty good way, so maybe it gets much better later on. I don't think so. I watched some in-game play, and I've gotten to some of the in-game play myself, and you can see I'm falling down a hole right here, which really pissed me off. Anyway, I'm running around with. You'll also notice I'm running around with a fishing rod. Yep. All your weapons, your melee weapons, are destructible, so they only have so many uses before they just break.
Is it like, it's not implemented the way it is with like Zelda or anything, right? These are everywhere. You can find weapons wherever you're going.
Well, sort of, kind. Yeah. Okay, so the weapons are supposed to be strewn out and about, and you're supposed to find as you go through looting cars and different things. By the way, in this alternate reality that you go through the alternate dimension, whatever you want to call it, there's like this each island is kind of has. It's almost like the other dimensions are poking through somewhat. So like you'll have areas where there's abandoned cars that I guess have gotten sucked into this area, abandoned houses that are in these areas, and they'll all be filled with things that you can find and loot. And I had varying success. By the way, I'm about to wake up a drake right here, now.
There he is, yeah.
So his little leaf thing.
Yep.
So this the cute little guys. They're real cute. They're fun. They actually give you buffs. There's a couple of advantages to finding drakes. They'll give you a buff in different areas. Some will give you like a luck or a melee or protection. There's different buffs from each one of them. You can choose to buff up whenever you go back to camp. You can just say like, okay, that last fight was really rough. I'm going to need a little bit more strength. I'll go get a strength buff, and I'll go back out and fight again.
What happens in nighttime? Did things go bad? Like,
So yeah, that's a good question. There is a day-night cycle, but nothing much really changes during the
okay.
daylight cycle other than the drakes go to sleep. And if they're not able to sleep, they'll complain and they'll get grumpy and that kind of thing. But usually I do most of my best uh, out and abouts at nighttime. Another thing too, in addition to a day-night cycle, you also have regional, seasonal cycles. So you'll start out in spring, and if after you get to a certain point, you can choose to move your camp to a different region, and it'll then be in summertime and wintertime, uh, and so on and
Does
so
it feel
forth.
like does it
And
feel like the makers of this game called up Epic and said, "Hey, we're using the Unreal Engine. We're just curious if we can borrow all your shit and use your look
I'm
and your feel."
absolutely. I feel like there was some. I don't know if Epic sells some of their, some of their
Like their
what's the
libraries
word?
and stuff. Yeah.
Libraries and stuff. I'm not
Yeah.
sure if it's like all there or not. If they really just really created from scratch. I'm not 100% sure, but I would say it certainly feels like that.
Chat room wants to know if this is like having kids in this game.
This is, oh my God, Drake Hollow is so much like having kids because you're
Yeah.
out trying to do your job. By the way, I'm like knocking some toilets, by the way,
Which you
right
do.
now.
It's fine.
Yeah, you
Everyone needs
do.
a
I mean, like I
toilet.
said, there's a lot of
Yeah.
abandoned crap that you have to destroy, and then you'll pick up the items, and then you'll go from there. There's some story going on too. There's some lore in this other dimension, and while you're doing that, there's also some a parallel story that's running where people are looking for you. Your family is looking for you because you've disappeared, and you kind of like this Alice in Wonderland, got to get back home kind of thing, and you can't go home until you have restored the drakes to the rightful, I guess, the rightful position in this dimension. You probably also saw I picked up a fraternity paddle, and that thing is bad.
Yeah,
It's
look
got
at
a
that.
high DPS, man. I was smacking some stuff.
Yeah. It would bum me
And
out though to lose my weapons all the time. That drives me crazy. Most of the
It
time.
does, and they go fast, man. They go fast. You have to be very stingy with it. That's the one thing I said that I can't figure this game out. In some ways, I'm like, oh, I'm so frustrated. In other ways, I'm compelled to go back over and over again.
Mhm.
And I didn't even talk about one of the cooler things about this game, the travel, how this game opens up.
Oh yeah, the I saw you skating on like a purple wire thing. Is that,
Yeah. So you set up waypoints as you go along, and those waypoints have to be line of sight with the next waypoint and within a certain amount of distance, and it'll create a beam of light, and you can skate on that beam of light, and also if you get to some supply trucks which are listed on your map. You can start sending those supplies back to the camp, and some of those supplies are things you'll need for building and getting ready for raids that happen frequently, according to how much attention you're attracting to yourself. And you'll be notified usually, like there's a raid coming in at 3 minutes here or so. With the video footage you're watching now, this is me playing, by the way.
Yeah.
And so there's a raid incoming, so you got to collect as many resources as you can,
It's
get
like
back to camp.
like a horde mode sort of idea.
Yeah, there's
Okay.
a little bit of a horde mode coming in, and they'll destroy the things you've built in your camp. And that's one of the ways you upgrade your camp too. Is you the more items you have in your camp, the faster you level up. And so, like I said, there's a lot of dimensions to this game, and there's a lot to enjoy, and there's also a lot to be frustrated. So if you're,
I'm gonna say
like I
right
said-
now, I love
Yeah.
the trees in this world.
oh, the trees are
They
awesome,
look
and you can chop
great.
them down.
They
Yeah.
look really good. Like I'm weird about this. I love tree tech
Yeah,
that doesn't look shitty, and it's rare. Most video game tree tech is the worst. Something about these trees, they're like painterly almost, like they look like oil
Yeah.
painting trees. They're very
I
cool.
think
That's a tiny.
I have always liked, when I first saw Fortnite, I was like, yeah, I kind of like the way this looks. And then of course I started hating it more and more as people kind of made it like the de facto look at me, how watch me dance. And it kind of, I think the attitude that people inferred into the Fortnite style made it start to become a little bit grating and a little bit annoying.
Yeah.
And but the style itself, there's nothing wrong with it. I actually like the style. Well, the only thing I didn't care for as much is possibly the character I picked. I've been playing the same character. You can pick from multiple characters and different styles. The one I picked, she always looks just not sad or pissed, just like she doesn't want to be there. It's like, does the character never looks like, yeah, I'm helping the Drakes. It's just she looks like, ugh. You know what I mean? Just ugh, I don't want to be here. I want to go home.
She's got an
I wanna go home.
attitude.
This
I can
sucks.
tell. She got an attitude. Yeah. That's okay.
Right.
We all do.
But
at
that's
one point.
okay. But I feel like I didn't even come close to telling you everything about this game. Like I said, there are a lot. In some ways, there's a lot of game loop that's going back and just over and over again, the same melee fights. But in other ways, a lot of things that feel fresh and balanced. And
oh yeah,
some
look
of
at
the
her
story
face.
is
Sorry,
kind of
she just
interesting.
She just looked at the camera and she does look.
Yeah.
Ma, I don't
She's
want to
just
go,
like,
Mom. I'm staying home, Mom. You guys are lame. I don't even like you, Dad. I hate you. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And so so I like the Drakes too. When you collect them, they all have their own little names.
Yeah.
And they're usually pretty cute names. And another thing too, in the camp, I got kind of frustrated. One of the things I think is lacking, this game just came out just recently, and it's only on the Xbox Game Pass console version, and it's coming to Steam sometime soon. So it's very early on. But the thing I did not like is you have quest, and you have story, and you have tips. And the tips always were just a little bit lacking. They were trying not to give you too much information, and sometimes that caused me trouble. Like one of the tips was to get the supplies back to your camp, you have to bring the waypoint back to camp. All right, I did that. I placed in the middle of the camp, and I thought, okay, where's the supplies? They never showed up. Eventually, someone said, hey, Brian, I was doing this on stream. They said you need to connect that to the depot. And I'm like, oh, well, that would have been some information that I would have liked to have, because they had not mentioned the depot at all. There is nothing in the story and anything that I had seen to mention about the freaking depot. How the heck was I supposed to know? I was supposed to hook it up.
Yeah, no one knows about the depot unless you're told about the depot.
Right. So I was like, all right, whatever.
Yeah.
But I did like this game. This is a game. It's a lot of fun. You'll just give it, if you have the Xbox Game Pass and you have the console, give it a try, and you'll either love or hate it. I mean, I think I think you'll find out pretty quickly.
You'll know pretty early if this is your jam.
Yeah, if it's your jam.
All right. Well, let me see if this is someone else's jam. Speaking of survival games, I played the most survival-ass survival game that I've ever played. It's literally the survival of the Homo sapien species.
Nice.
I finally got my hands on and played Ancestors: The Humankind Odyssey.
I've been wanting to get this. This is on this is on
I got it on Steam is where I got it.
Steam, right. But Epic's been trying to sell me this thing forever, I think, right?
Oh, yeah. In fact, I think it started as an Epic exclusive. It was also one of the big E3 reveals for, I don't remember whose console showed it off. Can't remember. A couple E3s ago, back when we had normal ones. So in 2019, I guess. But the idea is that you're a little monkey. Like a little chimpanzee,
You're a little
primate.
monkey. Look at you.
And you're trying to survive, find the bugs and grubs, and, get the social going on with the little brood of monkeys you all live around, and you're trying to just sort of survive. Their tagline is inspired by true events, which is great because it's basically just the evolution of intelligent life. And you spend a bunch of time in this game literally just trying to learn the world around you and then adapt to it and then take over.
Does it like start with like a big monolith, like a big black monolith? And you gotta
No, but that would have been really freaking funny if they did. At this point, I'm bummed they didn't. Now that you say it, that would have been a great reference.
Missed it.
Maybe later in there they do. Like maybe in the world somewhere there's a big monolith just sticking out of the something, and I could go mess with it.
Just come across. That would be nice.
But the idea is that my favorite thing about the intro is it's got this kind of Forrest Gump sort of intro, but it deals with a fish instead of a feather. Because in Forrest Gump, that feather just ends up going everywhere. And
I thought you were going to say it deals with a fish instead of a guy with a low IQ. Okay.
No.
Right.
So this fish gets picked up by a bird, and then the bird drops the fish, and then a monkey wants to get the fish, but then there's a big giant snake gets hit in the head with the fish, and then the fish is back in the water, and then an alligator tries to get the fish, and then something kills the alligator, and it's just like this
circle of life.
It's this total circle of life thing they got going.
Right.
And I don't know what the age is supposed to be, but everything's mammals and stuff. So this is like supposed to be
no dinos, right?
No
Except
dinosaurs,
for like crocodiles.
Yeah, there's definitely some life that
Prehistoric.
is still, maybe some that are now extinct or whatever. There's no saber-toothed tigers, but there is this panther, as you can see on this video.
Oh,
Anyway, so there's a lot of this sort of like, hey, nature, it's a dog-eat-dog world out there. Watch out. And so
nature, it really sucks.
your job, there's that fish again, still floating through the thing. This is the fish. I'm telling you, it's the feather from Forrest Gump. It's exactly
Yeah,
what that
definitely.
fish
Oh,
is.
it's dead now, so it's even worse. Now
Oh,
it's
it's the
just
worst.
meat.
It's the worst. So it's called Ancestors. You start as a tiny monkey. Your job is to try to get to some form of humanity. And you're
Tiny monkey,
never
like,
just
like wait, I want to know what kind of tiny monkey. Like one of those little miniature monkeys you can hold in your hand, or is it like?
It's like here, you see him right now. It's like a little chimpanzee monkey on
Okay, it's like a
on the back.
chimpanzee. So not like a tiny monkey, just a normal size.
Yeah, just a monkey.
Monkey.
A little monkey. And in this
Right.
case, you start as a baby. I guess these are chimpanzees or
Chimps, right?
bonobas or whatever. They're not bonoba. What are they called? Phenomenons, whatever they are.
Phenomenons.
But you start out, you're on your mother's back, and she finds this fish floating in the water. It's the same fish. A hawk comes.
Oh man, she
Picks
like
you
had
up.
you late in life. Good lord.
Yep. She kills the mom. Goodbye. Oh, goodbye, monkey mom. And then the baby's on his own, falls through the canopy of trees.
Oh God,
I know, it's hardcore.
this is horrific.
They get straight to it. And then
Ancestors. Huh?
now you're
Ooh,
this little
wow.
dude walking around, and you're trying to get a sense of the world and figure out where to go. And your fears and instincts are all over the place. But for you to get more intelligent, you got to go find your pack. Okay, once you find the pack, then you can learn, oh, this is water I can drink, or this is food I can eat, or this is a person I can socialize with, and they'll pick mites out of my hair, and that's a good thing. That'll help us grow as a society. So there's all that, but then you can also swap around. I always thought you were just going to be this one monkey the whole time, but no. As soon as you
really?
meet
So
your
you get
next
to play as
monkey,
the dead fish?
yeah, you get to switch over to whatever monkey you want. You're still monkeys, but
Oh, okay.
you can just you're more trying to find your way in the society and less about finding your way as an individual. And
Gotcha.
so you can walk up to a lady monkey and go, I want to be her now, and then you're suddenly in her body and she's running
lady
around doing
monkey.
stuff. And there's a lot of moments of cutscene where they're like, hey, you learned how to do a thing, and the monkeys learned how to dance or whatever, different stuff like that. And I haven't gotten super far because I'm really bad at these things, but you collect wood and you collect stuff and you build tools and you learn how to do tools. And
Do you get to stick bamboo down an ant hole or stick down an ant hole and eat ants?
haven't
Is that
done
a thing?
one yet, but I would assume at some point you probably do something like that.
I'll tell you, man, these may be some of the ugliest.
Oh, they're ugly apes. They're ugly apes.
These are, I mean, come on.
According to
These
the
guys are
credits
ugly.
on this thing, these and the stuff I read, these faces of these monkeys and their body shapes are based on actual remains.
Actual
of stuff.
ancestral
Yeah.
monkeys.
So they're not just making
Okay,
it up.
but I apologize. My bad. I was thinking modern day monkeys. You're right. That we've softened up a little since then. So maybe these were right.
Yeah. So that's kind of the idea. So you can mate, and when you mate, that's good because the colony grows. You can fight.
you can make, and that's good.
you can fight for dominance with the dominant leader of the group, and then try to
And
change
then
the
mate with
dynamic.
them. Yeah.
You learn things, and your intelligence score goes up as you do that. When you discover something new, it might add to a new intelligence thing. You just saw a monkey swap just happen there.
We're getting corrected. Apes, according to Fastidious, is who all.
Sorry,
knows
I
all.
say monkeys, and I know it's apes.
Monkeys,
I just say
yeah, me
monkeys,
too.
and you know why I do? Because it's funnier. That's why I say monkeys. Honestly,
I do it because I forget.
I do it
because
because it's funny. To me, it's
Right.
funny to say monkey is a funny thing to say. Ape is boring.
Right.
So
Ape is boring.
So I say things like, you can
Unless you
monkey
say-
swap.
unless you
Monkey
say grape
swap.
ape.
Which is funnier, monkey swap or ape swap? Monkey swap is funnier.
Right.
It just
But
is.
grape ape is pretty funny.
Yeah.
I mean,
So
you got to
anyway.
admit, grape ape is pretty funny.
So I don't know I haven't gotten far enough to know how the real passage of time is going to affect things. Like, did that first baby monkey I was grow up and die? I don't know yet. I'm not that far.
Well, of course he does. I mean, in the grand history of
I mean,
things.
he obviously.
You think he's like some kind of immortal monkey?
I just don't know if I experience it or not.
Oh, okay. I got you.
I may, I don't know.
Right.
But it's a neat idea. I feel like it's ambitious in a way that a lot of games aren't. And that's admirable, to try to make a game out of this concept
What
of
game is this? This game is like just like another game I played, and I'm trying to remember what it was. And it was also an Epic game. I mean, it looks like it uses the exact same engine.
I don't know if
But
it's.
I love the terrain. I love the idea.
I mean, this wasn't an Epic game in the sense that it was Unreal. It was just they just had a deal to be on their on their store.
Out for the beehive.
Yeah, those are bees. You got to be careful with the bees. So he's going to fiddle with these bees. Watch this.
Well, don't fiddle with the bees. What are
It's going to
be
be some
crazy?
sort of bee work.
We
learned what a beehive
big
is.
Prehistoric bees. You don't want to mess with those guys.
Yeah, you don't want big bees. Big bees are the worst bees.
Big bees.
Big bees. Anyway, it's cool. Check it out. It's a little on the pricey side, a mid-range price, $39.99. It's available everywhere. I have it on PC. It's also on consoles.
Oh, wait, is this just now being released? I thought this had been out for a while, or is this the next one in the Ancestors?
This was. I want to say that release date is the Steam release date.
Okay,
because you know how Steam will do that. They'll get a thing a little later, and then the release date for Steam is the one they list, not necessarily the 6 months earlier on Epic or something else.
Gotcha.
Epic has made things complicated.
They have, but they also have made things interesting, and I'm glad it's been
fine. Good. I like all the free games. I try not to spend money there. I don't know.
I try not to give them my money.
I don't. I mean, I really like Steam, and it took, Steam has taken a long time to become what it is, and I really like where it is and what it is. And
well, you know how I feel about Steam.
If someone came to me, dude, and said, "Hey, I got a free code for you to install on your PC from either Steam or Epic, and you get the same game, and here's a code one way, the other. Which one do you want?" I want the Steam one.
Yeah. Well,
why would I take? What would you take if someone said, "Here's an equivalent key on both platforms. Which one do you want? Which one are you going to take?"
I'm not going to lie. Makes no difference to me.
It makes no difference to you? You'd be like, give me whatever, and they give you the Epic one, and you're fine with that? See, I'd rather have it where my library is. So I'd rather just do it.
Well, I keep the Epic store always running in my system tray as well as Steam. They both play well. Epic has never given me any problems with resources. I've never peaked my resources and went, "Hey, stupid Epic launcher stealing all my freaking resources."
Well, I've had outages there. I've had outages that have messed me up over there before, but
right. So and so I never had any trouble there. And my GeForce Now, the GeForce Experience Now thing that I'm using, it pulls from both Steam and the Epic Game Store. So I mean, I'll be honest with you, it's pretty seamless for me to jump between.
Well, that GeForce thing pulls from everything, doesn't it? Like it doesn't. It just scans your hard drive.
Certain resources, Steam, Epic.
Are you sure? Because I got games on there that it lists
Ubisoft.
Yeah, I have games on there it lists that it just pulls from the drive. I don't think it cares about your service.
Oh no, mine always pulls. Are you talking about the online version, the cloud gaming?
That. I don't know.
No,
not
not the optimization. No, I may have said it wrong. It's the GeForce Experience, or what is it called?
No, you mean GeForce Now. GeForce Now, yeah.
GeForce Now, yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So,
gotcha.
Like I said, I have at this point, they both behave fairly well, and it doesn't bother me running both, not at all.
Well, you're very agnostic, happy.
But I will agree with Crimson Neon in the chat room, who says "Good old Galaxy for the win." Absolutely, I love running the good old games. Galaxy 2. That's their latest one, and it's like it's a library management, and it has most of the online services right there, even the Game Pass stuff.
They're the trillion of PC game stores. Yeah. I should use that. I haven't even touched that. I should use that.
Oh, you haven't? Yeah, definitely get it. It's good. It runs on they had the Mac version as well as the Windows version. So
nice. All right. Yeah. Worth checking. Anyway, check this out. Published by Private Division, made by Panache Digital Games. Panache. And you too can survive the evolution in Neogene Africa starting 10 million years ago. It's a third-person open-world survival game where you explore, expand, and evolve to advance your clan to the next generation in this exciting new adventure from Panache.
No.
Available now. Quick mention. I found a downside to Game Pass. You ready for this?
Oh, okay. Yeah, this is interesting. Go ahead. Tell me.
The developer of Wasteland 3 said, "Hey, would you like a code?" Because I have some old friend who used to be at Blizzard. He now works over there. I said, "Yeah, I'd love that. I'd love to play it on Steam." I says, "I have it on Game Pass. I wonder if I can move my saves over." And he says, He says, well, it'll always be on Game Pass because it's a Microsoft Studios deal now.
Right.
But he says they don't keep saves locally. All Game Pass saves are in the cloud, and that's it. There are no local saves. Now, I
never thought about that.
I haven't confirmed this with every other game, but apparently that's a problem with that one. And so my idea of going to some directory structure and moving my saves. I was going to move those over to the Steam Apps library, and I can't. It's not possible because they don't exist on the local drive. So that's kind of lame.
Man,
I don't like that.
I've gotten to that is definitely lame. But I'll be honest with you. I jump around to so many different platforms and everything that my life of understanding that when I jump to a different platform is just I accept it. It's
yeah,
just
but
like,
it's PC. It should be easy on PC because it's all the same platform. All you're doing
you
is
would think
changing the same
so.
front
But
end.
once again, like I said, I think I've gotten used to the bad, and I just don't know any better at this point. I'm never disappointed. How about that? I'm always just like, yeah, that figures.
You have decided that this world of goofiness is no. See, I went and looked, midget Wookie. That feels like I'm not supposed to say that out loud. But anyway, midget Wookie. It says it's under user and local. The save files aren't there.
Yeah.
Are they? I was
I
was told by them, the makers of the game, that it was all cloud-based and there was nothing I could do about it. So maybe they told me wrong.
That may be, just because the developer did that doesn't necessarily mean that Microsoft may have told them one thing and it may not be.
It could have changed. Who knows? The whole world is banana times. But anyway, just a side note. And then the other downside isn't so much a downside, it's just poor timing. Back when they launched Game Pass for PC at $4.99, they said multiple times, this is an introductory price and it will go up later. It'll probably be the same amount as Xbox Game Pass is without Ultimate, which is $10. It always has been. So don't expect the PC one to stay at $5 forever as we build it up and build it out and have a better player or have a better launcher and the games fill out, which that's all been true. Then you expect to see the price come up. The problem is that was kind of ill-timed because just last week they announced, hey, by the way, Game Pass Ultimate will come with and PC Game Pass will come with EA Play now. Just throw it in, and which is a $5 value. So it looks like all they did was just go
Bundled
to $10 and bundle it together, and now you're paying what you would have paid separately. So I know how it looks to people, but if you actually look at the timeline and look at all the stuff that was said, they had always intended this to go up by 5 to be 10. They'd always.
Let's face it. It's just like everything else with it's like our whole kerfuffle with this HBO. Why is there 3 different HBOs? It's all because of deals that different people have signed over time, and we're trying to shift. I'm sure that EA probably had a way that it's like, oh, we won't release this on the PC except for here and here. And then when Microsoft says, well, we're going to sell it for $5, but later on do 10. It's all just a bunch of deals. You have to make contracts ending, new contracts starting. $10.
Yeah, it's not that big a deal.
We're living in a fantastic, beautiful time.
I'm just saying, don't get conspiratorial about it because they were going to put the price up no matter what. All right.
I understand. It's always hard when prices go up. Every time my Netflix goes up, I complain for about a day and a half.
Yeah, you bristle. Yeah, you bristle at the idea of a Netflix. I understand.
Right.
Hey, Brian, tell me about this game, Battletoads, right? Chodes? Do I have that right?
The year is 1991. No, it's 2020, and finally we have what we've been looking for and waiting for almost 19 years. Battletoads is back to the forefront. They've returned on the Xbox Game Pass. This is a D-La-La and a Rare game. I don't know how much Rare had involved this other than they made the original.
I think very little with the new one. I don't think they had much.
Very little, I believe. And this is the Xbox Game Studio, so it's going to be around for a while. It's going to be on that Xbox Game Pass. Check it out. It is exactly what you think it is. It is a beat 'em up, just like the original.
I almost covered this. I almost did this 2 weeks ago, and I did not like it. That's why I didn't do it.
I heard a lot of people say they did not care for it. And this game is a short game. It's only 5 hours. It's more of an experience than a game. So there's the beat 'em ups. It's it's not great, but it's kind of a fun little loop. I like looking at the characters. My favorite part is just revisiting this nostalgia of what the early '90s was, and everything was radical, dude. Battletoads are already kind of a pale imitation of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles,
Yeah.
but it's so far gone. And I talked about this before. It's like when you love something so much, like the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, you didn't back then. You didn't want to see anything that come along that kind of like looked like it. You're like, get out of here. But now, all these years later, I'm like, yeah, I can look at some Battletoads. And this is not just a beat 'em up game. This is, like I said, it should be called the Battletoads experience. It is all like a early '90s cartoon. The things in between that they do in between are just, to me, are fun and silly. The beat 'em up part is really just so I can get to more story and just see the silly.
Did it feel sluggish
dialogue
to you? Because him getting around just felt sluggish to me, like I was working.
Yeah,
mud.
the battles seem how do I say, the battles seem like they were intentionally elongated, even though there really was no reason. I mean, I feel like I was having to punch things way more times than I really should have to, just to like extend the game time, because this like I said, it weighs in at about 5 hours, and and you can still, I'm trying to figure out how to use my stupid tongue here. It's like it's
Yeah.
terrible.
Tongues
you get to
matter,
choose,
man. I get it.
right? So you get to choose between your 3 characters. You can also play this cooperatively, or you can play it by yourself and just switch between the characters. When one of your characters dies, another one of the characters tag teams in instantly, and each one of them has their own special abilities that kind of really, more than anything, is just the animation is a little bit different. Some of them are just a little bit tougher in the punches, and some of them are a little bit faster. So there's you could get into the nuances of it, but not really. I mean, it's just really a button smasher, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, see,
that's what you're here for.
At the same time, I played, and this is maybe the problem, I played Battletoads the same week that I played Streets of Rage 4, and they were both on Game Pass. And Streets of Rage 4 left me feeling pretty good. That game's a really cool reimagination of what Streets of Rage is, I think. I haven't talked about it here on the show. And so I came away from that going, oh, that's rad. I could go for more of this. And then I played Battletoads and went, this is sloggy and slow.
Well, okay, so like if this was like some prized property that everybody loved back in the day, it had its fans, but this wasn't the game even back in the day. It was interesting, and it was a little blip on the radar, and it was totally a thing of its time, but it died pretty quickly and went away. And here it is, just as an homage to the silliness that was the early '90s.
Well, see, I get what you're saying, but I think it could have been a good game. There's no reason why this couldn't have been a good game. It's just like, yes, the original property isn't that big of a deal, but there's no reason they could have figured out a way to make a better game now.
Would you really put all of that effort into Battletoads? I mean, I think they gave it exactly how much it deserved. I don't think you could create much more depth, in my opinion.
Hey, you're a little tiny toad now.
But I enjoyed my time with it. I wouldn't have, if you bought this for $20, which is I think what it can go for. I think it's going to be on Steam. I think it's like $20 for 5 hours worth of play. I just don't know if it would be worth that, because I mean, once you play this once through, you're probably not going to look at it again. I could be wrong. Different people have different tastes and things, but the things that were frustrating were some of the mini games in between.
Mm-hmm.
They did break up the beat 'em up parts, but they sometimes it could be more frustrating. I was like, oh my god, I just want to get back to the beat 'em ups. I mean, I've been playing this brutal bike game for almost 30 minutes now. So, but yeah, like I said, I think Battletoads is about exactly what I expected, but I've seen a lot of people complain.
Let's read a couple of Metacritic user reviews. Here's a positive one. He says, Battletoads is amazing and very fun. This game have a big variety of level and story is hilarious. No period. Then this guy says, this pile of manure is an iniquity of the highest order, a defilement of a cult classic that should never be forgotten or forgiven. Respect gaming legacy and your dignity. Don't buy game.
The original was only a cult classic because of his unnecessarily difficult battles that were just really unnecessarily difficult, and most people would just threw it down and said, "Pfft."
Yeah. Well, let's look
I
at
mean, it's kind of like saying the cult status of ET, which they're talking about in the chat room. I mean, come on.
what do you mean, the
It's-
video game ET? Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, it's got cult status, but I don't think really anybody. Like I said, there's probably some people out there. There's probably a few people that are like, yeah, Battletoads is the best thing ever.
Someone out there liked ET and like unironically liked that game. They must have
Yeah.
been.
So I mean,
How about this one? This is these are actual reviews from sites and magazines from Generation Xbox. They say 95 Battletoads is back in the best possible way. A must-have for Xbox game studios and Xbox One owners. Okay, so they really liked it at 95%. And then you go down here to Game Informer, a little more middle of the road without the word Xbox in their name. Says the kindest thing I can say about Battletoads is this: it sort of works. The controls are fine. I encountered no major technical issues, and an optional invincibility feature allowed me to easily clear sections that are giving me too much trouble.
Yeah.
Simply being playable from the beginning and end is a tragically low bar to clear, but it's the main thing Battletoads has going for it. Oh man, man.
Like
Hardcore.
I said, I had fun. Like I said, I would have relabeled it as the Battletoads experience and wouldn't even pretend like it was really a video game. It's more like if I had got this on the iPad, I would have been just as excited. It is what it is.
It exists. It exists.
It exists.
Yeah.
It was fun.
Yeah.
Dude, were you big into the the early '90s cartoons and things?
Oh, sure. I loved all that stuff.
Yeah. I mean.
Yeah, I liked it. As far as beat 'em ups went in that era, for me it was that X-Men game, and it was
no, there's way better games during that time.
Simpsons game was great. Like there was a bunch of like cool beat 'em up style games. All the Final Fight games were great. Yeah.
Right.
And I played, like I said, like Streets of Rage 1 and 2, I played the crap out of on my Genesis, and those were great for what they were when they were. And if you haven't tried Streets of Rage 4, I think that's a very cool.
It is on my radar, and I actually have expectations for that.
It's pretty
There's
good.
expectations built in, and I expect them to be met.
I hope so.
Or else.
You also did some Minecraft VR. How'd that go?
I've done Minecraft VR before, but I've hopped back in recently since I got my Oculus Quest. And I played around a little bit. I figured out how to keep my Twitch chat up, and I'm looking forward to doing some Minecraft VR in the near future, streaming and twitching with that. However, I want to say that I had my Oculus Quest for around 35 days outside of my return time from Best Buy.
Uh-huh.
And the proximity sensor inside the headset has malfunctioned.
Oh, no.
Right.
That's bad. You need that to work. That's the thing that should work.
It is. So the proximity sensor detects when your face is in the mask, when it's in the VR equipment.
Mm-hmm.
And so if it can't see your face, then it don't turn on.
Yeah.
And so what I had to do is I did some looking, and you can some people said put some tape on it, and I tried that. That did not work for the proximity sensor, but I did take a little, I felt like it needed to be like something that would I don't know, conduct some kind of very low, I don't know. I felt like it needed to be something beefier. So I took the end of a rubber, like an R eraser.
Yeah.
A rubber eraser. And I cut off a little thin piece, and then I taped it, and it comes on. I have to be very careful though, because I have to make sure I turn it off. If I don't, then of course you could risk burn in. The reason why I haven't sent it back yet to Oculus is covered, but I haven't sent it back yet because the turnaround time is something like 6+ weeks to get it back, and so it's like, oh, and it's apparently a very common problem.
Yeah.
And they want me to like film the problem.
They want you to film the problem.
Show them the problem.
And then what? Post it on Facebook and send it to
them
Mark
so that they
Zuckerberg?
can see the problem. I'm like, just fix it.
Yeah, that's crazy.
It's like 35 days old.
Yeah.
Come on.
No kidding. Well, plus the Quest, I don't know if you saw the leak, but the Oculus Quest 2 VR leak that happened today, I think.
Right. Oh, really?
Yeah, today there was a leak. Let's see. New Oculus Quest headset will have almost 4K display, 2K per eye, according to leaked video ahead of this week's Facebook Connect developer conference. First time existence. Let me read through here. Okay, so looks like this one will be 4K, 50% more pixels than the original Quest. Refresh rate, they don't know, but it's somewhere in the range of the current one. Ergonomics, Quest 2 is described as being streamlined and light with a soft touch head strap. That it makes use of new materials that will make it easier to remove, according to the video that was leaked. The controllers have also been updated with new ergonomic designs. Oculus says will make them more comfortable to use over a long period of time. All Oculus Quest games will work on the Quest 2. As for the price, there was a Walmart listing that got deleted that had the 256 gigabyte storage version for $399. And let's see, the official reveal for the Quest 2 could be on September 16th, so a couple days.
I mean, let's face it, the prices are going to be it's probably going to be even comparable or cheaper than the first one because now it is in Facebook's hand and they're not going to be making money off the equipment. They're just going to be selling the equipment straight. They're going to be making money off watching you.
Oh, of course they are. Of course they are.
I mean,
here's the other thing. If you want to use the Quest 2, by the way, and this is going to be true of everybody soon, it doesn't matter if you have an Oculus account. You now have to, you are forced into using Facebook to do it. And that bums me out.
Me too. You have a little bit of time. Before is absolutely
saying you're going to need a 3090 to play it. No, this is the Quest series. These are standalone VR headsets. They don't need PCs.
No, you don't have to hook it to the PC. You can. I use the link.
Want.
That's how I played. That's how I played Minecraft.
Right, but they're primarily made as standalone headsets. That's the whole point.
Right.
Yeah.
It's pretty much what I call it is the Beat Saber is what it is.
The Beat Saber device.
Because that's where it really is. I mean,
yeah,
that's 90% of what we play is Beat Saber.
I don't want Facebook. I knew this was inevitable, but I wanted Oculus to stay. Amazon leaves Twitch alone. Google for the most part leaves. What do they leave alone? Maybe they don't. Maybe they don't leave things alone. But some companies decide to have a hands-off approach to acquisitions. I really wish Facebook would do that with Oculus because the more you bring it over to your Facebook side, the less cool it is and the less I want one. And I really like the Quest one.
That is the truth. I have come so close to just going, you know what? I made a mistake. I didn't do my research on the Oculus. I didn't realize they were so Facebook focused and they were going to be doing this so quickly. If I'd have known this 30 days ago, I probably wouldn't have pulled the trigger. And so, I don't know.
Well, are you in the window? You could do a return and then just roll up to the new one.
Right. I don't know.
Think about that.
I said to suck it up, I suppose. Just suck it up, Brian. They have all your information.
I'm saying if you have time, you should just get the new one.
There's no time. I'm outside the window of return.
Oh, you can't do return.
It broke about 5 days out of return time.
Boo!
Right. It wasn't their fault. It wasn't Best Buy's fault. And apparently, like I said, it's a common problem for the Quest. Common enough, but then it's funny because it makes me mad whenever I go to like a forums or anything and there's like a common problem and then I submit to the tech support that I had the exact same problem and I'll go, was the first we've heard of it. I'm like, oh my god.
Yeah, I don't like that either. I was having some software issues like this week and I'm like, really? No one at your company reads Reddit or follows like there's a huge swath of the internet that all congregate and talk about the problems they're having. Are you saying none of that is available to you?
Right. We had no idea.
We didn't understand. What it's doing? The modern internet is just perplexing. All right. We got to play a game. That game is this.
Great game.
No, that's not it.
It's me, Mario.
It's time to play Guess My Game, where we play a clip from a game that we pulled out of yesteryear, and we try to guess each other's game. I'll start, and I will give you a hint. This is from the 16-bit era.
No.
Enjoy. Don't look at the chat. They're going to make you cheat.
What's that?
Never look at the chat. They'll make you cheat.
Oh, don't look at the chat. Yeah. Is this like the 7-Up spot game? What the crap is this? It sounds so familiar. I've played this game.
Well, it's the era for sure.
It's not like it's either. It feels Toe Jam and Earlish, or in that area, or
I love that. Toe Jam and Earlish.
Toe Jam and Earlish.
All right, you're right about the timing, but not the game. The game is someone in the chat kind of got close. They said, "Is this Sonic something? Sonic related?" You are correct, and it's not called Sonic Pinball. It's called Sonic Spinball.
Oh,
yeah, the giveaway is this first part. Wait, so you get the Sega.
Anyway, did you play that part? How did I miss that part?
I played
oh my gosh!
Top. I don't know. You weren't listening. I don't know what you were doing. Yeah, it's Sonic Spinball. It's a pinball game with Sonic. He's the ball, and it's not even very good. Okay, it's kind of not a great game. The pinball physics were garbage. It didn't even look that great. The music's good, and it's fun to play pinball in a weird way. If you're a big Sonic fan, this is like, oh, okay, cool. I'll do this with Sonic. But it's almost like they turned like a Sonic bonus stage into a full video game. And it turned it into a big pinball game. And I remember enjoying it at the time. I think it's on the is it on the Genesis Mini? It may not.
Oh, is it
be.
on the Genesis Mini? That
I'm
would be
not sure.
exciting because I was just thinking I want to play this, and I do have the Genesis Mini.
I do too. Mine's over there somewhere. I'd have to plug it back in and look. But anyway, it's Sonic Spinball, available not now, or maybe it is.
Not
maybe it's
now,
on the Mini.
or anytime recent.
I saw that Mini was down to $49, so time to get the Mini.
Nice.
Yeah, it's a pretty good deal, I think, for that. Okay, Brian, I'm now going to play yours. Let's see if I can
Do
guess.
it.
Any hints?
Play it.
Any hints before I play it? Anything I should know?
The year is 1988. 88.
88. Atiat. All right, here we go. NES game?
It is an NES game, correct.
Okay.
The year was 1988. NES released this here game.
Oh my god. Oh my gosh, it's right on the tip of my head here. Why do I know?
It might be like with the Sonic game for me. The Sonic game sounded super familiar, but I don't think I ever played it. But I mean, it had all the right bips and boops from that time period.
Oh, is this a Kirby game?
No, but I could certainly see where you would think that.
Damn it, I give up then. I have no idea.
It's 7-Up Spot. No, I'm kidding. It is Blaster Master. Congratulations in the chat
Blaster
room.
Master. Oh, the chat room did they get it? I turned them off. Oh yeah, there you go.
Good job.
Kaminskazeki, or however you say your name. That's awesome. Master Blaster. Who runs Bartertown? Blaster Master runs Bartertown.
But Blaster Master looked really good. I was like, wow, I can't believe how good this game looked in 1988. I don't remember it looking good.
That game's cool. And I think this is on there's an enhanced version of this, like widescreen version of it, but otherwise it looks the same. That's on Switch. Yeah, there it is. You can actually get this on the Switch, and it's still good. I can't believe I didn't recognize this freaking thing, but Master Blaster's great. Master Blaster 2.
It is Blaster Master. I get it. I mean, every
Blaster
time
Master. I keep saying it wrong.
I say it backwards as well every time.
That's because I think of Thunderdome every time.
Yeah, Master. Yeah, absolutely. That's what you would.
Master Blaster runs Bartertown. That's who.
Blaster.
Yeah, it's a cool game, and the sequel sucks, so don't play that. But the first game's great and recommended. And available, like I said, on the Switch. You can go get this on the Switch right now.
Is it on the? Okay, I was going to say, is it available on the owner? If it's available for the emulation,
the just stop and play thing.
Yeah,
I don't know. I found it on the eShop, so I'm assuming maybe both. I don't know.
Maybe both.
I got it on sale. It was like $2.99 or something, so I picked it up. And it's
that's
great.
cheap.
Blaster Master is rad, and you know what's rad about it is there's so many games that I love now that still do what that game did. Like, you know how GTA. All right. Imagine a modern GTA game.
I'm doing it.
You're in the car, you're driving around, there's buildings everywhere, and then you're like, I got to get out of my car, go in that building, and punch a guy. It lets you do that, and it's amazing. And we see it now, and we just think, oh, that's just a video game. But back in the day, games didn't have this kind of transition from a bigger outer world thing happening, and then a smaller space then happening, and then some story happening, and then go back to the outer world and move around again. Like, that was unheard of. And
Right.
Blaster Master rather did that. It took you from I'm this weird 4-wheeler car space truck,
Exactly.
and then I got to go inside and be a little dude with a gun. And I don't know. To me, that was like
I'm a blaster master, and now I'm not.
It spoke of open world before we even knew what that was going to be. So hats off to Blaster Master, not Master Blaster, who happens to run Bartertown. But honestly, Bartertown's a shit show. It's not.
No,
great.
yeah, right. No, they're no relation.
Nobody wants to run Bartertown. All right.
Nobody wants to.
Well done. Now this. Well, why is that quiet? Turn it up. There it is. That's the stuff. All right, everybody, get ready to suck it up and be ready for an email. Because here's an email. It came to us at boopshow@gmail.com. That's boopshow.com. Again, boopshow@gmail.com. Oh, I forgot the Gmail last time. Anyway, Scott Kelly wrote in. Sounds like a reporter.
Scott Kelly.
I'm Scott Kelly for 60 Minutes. Anyway, it says this. Hey, Scott and Brian, you were talking about overlooked indie gems, like good indie games that people don't know about. I immediately thought of Life Goes On Steam, which has the coolest, most inventive death mechanic I've ever seen. He says it's basically a morbid love letter to the puzzle platformer genre. In short, you need to die so that your next life can use your corpses to solve the level.
Oh, goody.
He says it's way more charming and cartoony than it sounds. Anyway, he says, I did not make this game, but my friend did. I bugged him, and he gave me 2 keys to pass along to you guys and 1 to give to the audience. It was criminally overlooked in 2014. I think you both would love it. All the best, Scott Kelly. So, at the end of today's show, we will give one lucky audience member one of these codes. Brian and I are also going to play it. And huge thanks to Scott Kelly.
That is awesome. Thank you so much, Scott Kelly, and the developers of the game.
Yeah. Hey, your friend, whatever his name is. What do you call him? Jim Bob, the
Master
Game
Blaster.
Maker, Master Blaster. So anyway, yeah, I want to thank him for that because I'm going to give these a shot, and also that sounds like a thing I'm going to like, actually. So I'm in. If you'd like to send us an email with some cool thing that you got, or an idea you have, or a comment, or a correction, or me having the hiccups, send one in to the show, boopshow@gmail.com.
That's what you are.
Here, I'm going to drink this water right here.
Glug, glug, glug.
That's better. I've sated the beast. Sated the beast. I'm a beast satyr. All right.
Satyr.
That'll be on Quest 2, the beast satyr. Anyway, hey, check it out. We're done. That's going to be the show for us. And if you would like to know more or get more or find more, it's over at frogpants.com/BOOP. You can also leave us emails, like I said, boopshow@gmail.com. We're on Twitter at boopshow. I'm at Scott Johnson. Brian is at the Brian Dunaway. Brian, before we go, I need a word of wisdom from your direction. What do you got for me?
Absolutely. Join the new Boop Troop. No, I'm just kidding.
Wait, what? What was that? What's
The Boop Troop is a weekly newsletter where me and Scott send out.
Oh my gosh, that's not the worst idea I've ever heard. Maybe we could do something. I don't know. The Boop Troop. You guys want to be on the Boop Troop? Oh, it's weird to say it over
Sign
and over.
up today.
Yeah, maybe not today.
You'll get a free pin and some and a secret decoder.
We could do a boot. Well, we are going to eventually. We just haven't gotten around to it. We're going to do a simple Patreon for people who want to help support the show. And when we do that, maybe the Boop Troop newsletter is one of our rewards.
Interesting.
I like these ideas that you've got, Brian. So we'll talk more about that a little later. That's going to do it for the show. Thank you all for watching. And please come back next time when we do this again. Bye now. This show is part of the Frog Pants Network.
Frog Pants Network.
Get more shows like this at frogpants.com. What? Oh, damn it. Hold on.
I don't like Steam. I love Steam.
I forgot the little thing at the end that I do.
Post